And the third step then is to substitute what we know.
Kayla, is your mom there?
Yep.
Can you ask her if it's okay if we record this?
She said yeah.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
we'll put that on YouTube too. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So we drew the picture. I'm just going to work on this one trapezoid at a time. We're going to write the formula. In this case, my shape is a trapezoid. That's a different formula. We're going to write that down and substitute what I know. So I'm going to work this one down. So for the trapezoid one, that pink one.
Whoever just popped in, if you don't put your real name there, I'm gonna kick you out of the video in just a minute.
That's Angel. It looks like he just used different.
Oh, it is. Okay, it's Angel. Hi, Angel. Sorry about that.
We're trying to be careful, Angel.
I was looking at N@NGEL. Oh.
Drew me this morning too.
Angel,
So
we're doing problem 395 on page 6 for math right now.
number 6. The area for a trapezoid, then I have 2 bases, base 1 and base 2. And I need to multiply it by the height, and I need to take that whole thing and divide by 2 to find the area. So that's a different formula than what you've been using. Okay, and that was earlier in 13. So I drew the picture. It's that picture. I wrote the formula. Now I'm going to substitute in all the values I know. So I don't know the area. I'm going to leave that as the letter A. The height, now I have to look at this and I have to sort of turn it. My height is going to be whenever I have a 90 degrees. So this is going to be my trapezoid. I'm actually going to redraw it here. It's as though I took this trapezoid and turned it right here. So I'm going to write it down. This would be 7.5 feet.
10.
By 5 feet tall. Is that right?
Yes.
That's my 5 feet tall. This is my 10-foot base. And then I don't know this, but I don't need to know it. So for the trapezoid, I need to know the height. And the height is whenever I'm standing up straight and tall, 90 degrees. So my height is 7.5 feet. Putting that in. These parentheses pushed together means I'm going to multiply the base 1 and the base 2. So one base is 5 feet. One base is 10 feet. Now that whole thing and divide by 2. You can stop anytime, Kayla, and say stop, slow down, wait, where did that come from? Are you okay so far?
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I want to look at what's in the parentheses. The parentheses, they do this first. 5 plus 10. What's 5 plus 10?
15.
Okay, so I'm going to take that as 15. So now to find that area, my problem says to take 7 5/10 times 15 and divide that by 2. Do you have a phone by you or a calculator by you?
Yes.
Can you just do that on the calculator right now? Since, oh boy, I'm sorry. I meant to make something quiet and I made it louder. If you on the calculator can take 7 5/10 and multiply it by 15.
Okay, so
What's
7.
it?
$125.
Get that part, Kayla?
Divide this one.
7 and 5 10.
So 7.5 and multiply it by 15. And now divided by 2.
Okay, so 7.5
Right? Times 15.
times 15
We're going to divide that by 2.
divided by 2
Okay,
is
what do you have?
7.5.
Did you get 11 and 25/100?
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
that's the area of
No,
this trapezoid.
it can't be 11. That answer makes no sense.
That's what I had. 7.5 times 15. Oh, I made a mistake too. 56, you're right, it makes no sense, Mrs. Nelson.
Times 15.
I have
divided by
15, I'm gonna have at least 7 more.
Answer?
15s, I can't have 11 when I'm done.
7.
Do it again. I forgot my golden rule when you're using a calculator. Do it twice until you get two answers that are the same.
I got 56.
56 and 2500ths.
Yes.
That's what I just had. So that's this piece. Now we need to do the same type of thing for this piece. I'm going to pick another color. And you know what, Kayla, after we're done, since you gave us permission, I'm going to put this up on YouTube so you can watch it there too, okay? Up on my YouTube channel,
Okay.
okay?
Yes.
All right. So now I want to do the green trapezoid. I want to do trapezoid 2. So let's see what I can do here. So trapezoid 2 looks like this shape. Okay, where this is 15 feet, this is 5 feet, this is 7.5 feet, and I don't know what that is, but I don't need it because I just need to know a height. So I've drawn the picture now. The formula is going to be the same formula because it's the same shape.
Okay.
I'm going to add the two bases together, multiply that by the height, take the whole thing divided by 2.
2.
First thing I'm going to do now I have, the next thing I'm going to do is substitute what I know. I'm looking for the area, so the A stays there. Height is 5.
5 feet.
5 feet, that multiply. One
Right.
base is 7.5 feet. It doesn't matter which order I write them in. And one base is 15 feet. It doesn't matter which one I call base 1 or base 2. And the whole thing divided by 2. So parentheses first, 7.5 and 15. You can do that on the calculator to be sure.
Same answer as before.
Well, I didn't add them before.
Well,
Last time I had to multiply.
what?
So this
Oh,
22 and 5/10.
yeah.
Now I need to do 5 times 22 and 5/10, and then I'll divide that by 2. So if you're doing it on the calculator, I'm going to do it too. I'm going to do it twice because I want to make sure I have an answer that's correct.
Angel, could you mute your mic for us, please, unless you're talking to us? Thank you.
What did you get, Kayla? Did you get the same answers before?
Yes.
I did too. So both of those areas are the same. So now for carpeting, she needs 56 and 2500ths of a square foot for this one, and another 56 and 2500ths for that one. So altogether, she needs both. She needs the pink area, putting things away. So the total area is the pink area and the green area all together, and that'll give me the whole purple area all together. So I just have to add those two numbers. 56 and 20, this just happens to work out that it's the same number. I think that's more of a coincidence than a pattern.
I agree.
What would both of those be?
Can you repeat that again? Area is what?
So the area of the whole shape is the area of this shape plus the area of that shape. That's what I said. The area of the whole shape is this piece plus this piece.
Okay.
Okay? So we found the two pieces, we need to put them together. So that gives me all together, I should put it in purple, the area of the whole shape all together is 112 and 5/10 feet squared. We can talk about that. Area is squared, so that's the whole shape in purple altogether.
Can't go any lower than that.
So that's part A. That's how you do it with trapezoid. Part B says, what's another way? I'm going to turn the page and we're going to think about another way. Trapezoids have a complicated formula. So I use that formula if I have to, but I like the formula you were using. What did you say your strategy was using? Was you were doing
2 times the base and the height.
to multiply the base and the height. That means you are using the formula for, I'm going to put the numbers back on. I'm just copying that problem back again. You're using the formula for what type of shape? Do you know?
Squares, rectangles, right?
Squares, rectangles, and what are those shapes called?
I can't remember actually.
Parallelogram.
Parallelogram.
So
Okay.
don't forget to be studying Quizlets. Math has its own language, and inside that Quizlet is all of the vocabulary for geometry. So that's somewhere you can go to just play games and have fun there.
Okay, so you're practicing Quizlet, I'm hoping. Parallelograms are shapes like squares, rectangles, and even shapes like this, where the big idea is that the opposite sides have the same measure. So I like that one too. Can I make this shape into parallelograms? Last time I drew a line here and we made it into trapezoids. Is there a way to make it into parallelograms?
Yes.
What would I do?
Putting a line down between the half, like 7.5 down. Right there.
Straight down.
Yes, straight down.
Okay.
That is one way.
I could have done it this way as well, but that's one way. So now I have 2 parallelograms and I can use your strategy for each of them. I'm going to put them in 2 different colors again because that's going to keep my thinking straight, okay? So I have a parallelogram here and a parallelogram here. Okay, so let's work on that green parallelogram then. Again, drew the picture, then now I have to write the formula. What's the formula for a parallelogram? You were just telling me it's base times height, right?
Yes, base times height.
So I'm going to draw that little picture right over here so I don't get a little confused, so I keep it straight from the big picture. Okay, so the area of the green parallelogram then is the base is 7.5. That's 7 5/10. This is 7 5/10, right?
Yes.
And then I'm going to multiply that by 10. And when I put that on the calculator, and you could try it to double check it, you should get 75.
Can you repeat how you got the area? Like area is base times height, and then
You were just telling me that when you find the area, you multiply the base times the height. That was back in chapter 13. They gave you, back in the beginning, like lesson 1, they gave you the area, the formula. This is just a formula. It's a pattern. Every time you have a parallelogram, that's the way you find the area. And that's back in 13.1, okay?
okay.
And now I just substituted from the picture, what's the base is the bottom, and the height is when you stand up tall. And Mrs. Nelson said yesterday, having that 90-degree angle. Because when you measure your height, you stand up tall, you don't slouch. Okay? All right,
Okay.
now we're going to talk, you're going to talk me through, let's look at that pink shape then. So that pink rectangle I'm going to put here. What number am I going to put here? Oh, what number am I going to put here?
On top is 7.5. 7.5.
5/10. What number goes here?
This side goes 5 feet.
5
Okay.
feet. Again, if it's here, it's here, it's here, right?
Mhm.
Opposite sides are the same measure. That's what makes it a parallelogram.
Gram.
Area then is base times height. I just have a different base. The base this time is 7.5 or 7 5/10, and the height is 5.
5. Sorry.
Okay, so 7 5/10 times 5.
7 5/10 times 5 is so it's 7.5 times 5 is 37.5.
37 5/10.
Yes.
So the area of the whole shape that's in purple, just like we did before, that area of that same shape should be the green area, the green rectangle plus the pink or the pink or the red rectangle. So for green, we got 75 square feet. For pink, we had 37 5/10. So if we add those two numbers together, because we want the whole shape, we don't want to just do carpet in part of the room. It is 112 5/10. Is that what we got when we did the trapezoid?
Plus 37, huh? 37.
When we did it the other way, we got the area of 112 5/10 of a square foot.
Mm-hmm.
We have the same answer, right? It's the same shape. We should get the same answer, right?
Yes.
Now the last part says, how much is she going to pay if the carpet is $4.50 a square foot? So we have 112 square feet, and every time it's 1 square foot, she pays $4.50. Another square foot, another $4.50. What math problem, Kayla, would I do to try to figure out how much she would pay?
I think you can do 4.50 divided by the answer we got.
Okay, if I divided into that, that would tell me how many $4.50 are in here. But I want to say every time she gets another foot, she has to pay another $4.50 and another $4.50 and another $4.50. Every time I'm adding the same number over and over again, what operation is? Okay. Mathematicians, another strategy mathematicians use is they try to make the problem simpler. So what if I said every time you did a math problem, I would give you $4.50. What if you did 5 math problems? What would we do to figure out how much money I would owe you?
We can add it up.
How would you be adding up over and over again?
Wait, can you repeat those numbers again?
The one I just gave for the example or for the area problem, Angel?
The example.
So I said if every time you did 1 math problem, I gave you $4.50. How would we figure out how much money you would earn if you did 5 math problems? What would you do? So you did 1 math problem and you got $4.50. You did another math problem, you got another $4.50. I can add it up, and that would be great if I only had 5 of them to add up. But this time I have 112.
So another name for repeated addition would be?
Multiply.
Multiplication. Very good.
So if I did 5 times 450 for the math problem, we would know. In this case, I would have to do the area times $4.50, so we could figure out how much it would cost. So I can do it long way, I can do it that way, but I could also do it on the calculator right now. Either way, it would be $506.25. But we could work out how to do that problem, move the 2 decimals over. Okay.
Any questions?
You're quiet, you're thinking. I like that.
No, I have it. I'm going to confuse the issue.
Oh, I like what you've done, Mrs. Nelson. What have you been drawing there?
Some people look at that different, that shape. So one way that I would look at it, I would never have done what our friend did to turn it into trapezoids. And I do like how he turned it into rectangles. But in my head, when I look at that figure, I see 2 parallelograms. One that's a large rectangle, right? Can you see that? It's marked in red on mine. So I'll go over it one more time. So one is a very large red one. And then I see the smaller one in between. Can you see those two?
It looks like Kayla came out, but Angel's still here. Angel, can you see the two?
Yes.
So what
Perfect.
I did was I went ahead and just multiplied the first parallelogram, which is 15 times 10,
Mm-hmm.
and that gave me 150. And then can you see that? And then I did the second parallelogram and I subtracted that out.
Oh, something quite familiar, like that, Miss Nelson, was in like Go Math.
Yes.
Exactly.
I
That,
know they show it that way.
I like Mrs. Nelson's strategy because you know which one that's going to really work well for? This one right here. It'll be so much easier to make one big square out of that and then taking out those 4 little squares. So sometimes you can do it by adding 2 areas together. Sometimes you can think about a bigger shape where you'd cut a piece out and you'd subtract a piece of an area.
That and the next problem, that would be way simpler. So
that's just something to think about. We'll post these up on YouTube so you can see them going forward, okay?
any other questions? I'm going to stop recording it right in a minute. Any other questions? All right, thank you guys. That was awesome.
Thank you.